Well, good morning and welcome to Clear Creek Independent School District, and thank you so much for making Clear Creek ISD a great place to work, to live, and to learn. This morning we're going to outlay what's going on over the past year, as well as welcome in the new year. And our district continues to break academic records, as well as our school district breaking ground on exciting new bond projects. We will once again break the previous year in student enrollment numbers, as far as our numbers continuing to increase, and all this is only possible through your continuing support of the great community which spans 13 cities, 2 counties, and over 100 square miles. I'd like to thank the taxpayers and the Board of Trustees for allowing me to serve as your superintendent for the past 6 years. Our work together has benefited more than 40,000 students, and we have just begun. Clear Creek ISD and every campus have far exceeded state standards under the new Texas accountability system. While the state no longer ranks schools as exemplary, recognized, or acceptable, all CCISD schools were rated well above the new MET standard by the state. High school completion rates continue to outperform their peers, as well as ACT and SAT tests across the nation. And I was thinking about even our young Patrick Pan over at Clear Lake High School. At the mere age of 15, Patrick will graduate from Clear Lake High School in June with a perfect SAT score, and he will attend Harvard this fall. CCISD is also home to a record number of 43 National Merit Scholar semifinalists. And you know that I'm not a big fan of ratings and classifications. I prefer to focus on the quality of instruction and the love and joy of learning. Nevertheless, these are very, very strong indicators that we have the right team on our board, a dedicated community, and some absolutely talented and wonderful children who continue to shine every day in and outside the classroom in their very, very own special way. I want to take Osvaldo as a classic example. He is a child with disabilities who cannot speak. Through the use of voice-assistive technology, his dreams and aspirations are being heard. He wants to be an accountant. And with the support of his family and teachers in CCISD, Osvaldo now attends Clear Horizons Early College High School, where he is working towards his high school diploma and college degree at the same time. We must continue to treasure every student and their individual gifts they bring to our table of learning. This is what makes CCISD unique. I'm not the only one who feels this way. In a 2013 survey of the community, the entire community, more than 88% of the taxpayers said CCISD is doing a great job in preparing students for the future. And 9 out of 10 parents feel welcome in their child's school. And for the second year in a row, the employees of Clear Creek ISD gave the district an A for creating a positive working environment. These high marks have earned CCISD the recognition of being one of the top workplaces for the second year in a row by the Houston Chronicle. And frankly, what our community thinks is extremely important to us. It is why hundreds of families move in to our community every year. CCISD continues to grow in enrollment. Based on a recent demographic report, CCISD is projected to top 41,000 students by 2016. And based on home construction and best projections, we will be built out in 2023 with more than 43,600 kids. This data will help us determine when and if we will need to adjust school boundaries, which I know is one of our favorite topics around here, in the future. But at this time, we do not see a need to adjust school boundaries for the next 2 years. Over the last decade, our bond projects have centered on building new schools to accommodate the tremendous growth in our area. In May 2013, nearly 7 out of 10 voters gave us the authorization to go back and address the conditions of aging schools, improve school safety, and expand or construct facilities to accommodate our enrollment growth. We will break ground on several major construction projects this year, And here's just a glimpse of the improvements coming to your community. so don't get attached to the name 2nd District Stadium. A naming committee will be formed later this month to determine the future name of this well-deserved football and student event center as well. And you're welcome to serve on that committee too. You'll just have to put your name in the hat. You know, one of the most exciting projects funded under the 2013 bond program is equipping every student in grades 4 through 12th grade with a tablet computer to enrich, engage, and deepen their level of learning. The Latitude to Learn initiative is in line with our long-held belief that learning occurs anytime, any place, and at any pace. And as I speak to you this morning, about 1,000 students at Clearbrook High School are receiving their device and training right now. And by the end of the month, all 9th and 10th graders will have had the opportunity to receive a Dell Latitude 10 tablet computer. And the Latitude to Learn project will be phased in over 3 years. This is a well-researched and well-planned that's going to be in place, and you will see this in our next clip.
Did you get your charger?
There you go. Have a good day.
Deploying the Dell Latitude 10 tablet to students across CCISD is the next step in the district's mission to lead the way in visionary education.
We're going to be bold with this, but at the same point in time, my message to teachers would be relax, take a breath. We're going to go slow with you. You're going to be able to utilize students who have no inhibitions whatsoever with the use of technology that might even teach you a few things along the way.
And then you're going to do atom graphing matching.
By 2016, Latitude to Learn will ensure every student in grades 4 through 12 will have a tablet.
What we're starting to see is a shift towards personalized learning. How do we use these devices so that students can learn at their own pace, learn their own standards in their learning style, versus just everyone learning the same thing at the same time?
All you have to do is come down here.
Teachers and students will power up instead of powering down as they walk in the classroom door.
This opens up more opportunities because it can bring the world inside the classroom and personalize that. And if we've done anything wrong in the United States, it's probably been to standardize our education for children, to try to create the same thing for every kid. We can have an opportunity here to really personalize education and customize it to the standpoint where students feel like it is so relevant to their being that it energizes them to want to learn more.
And I swipe in.
Training opportunities guide teachers in the use of this powerful tablet.
We're looking for those Latitude to Learn leaders who are trailblazers in the field, who are the advanced technology users, and we're gonna tap into that expertise that exists within our district.
Professional development offers more opportunities for teachers to learn best practices for integrating technology into lesson plans.
Where's your vocabulary list? On Blackboard. Very good. So you can pull it up on your tablets if you don't have your actual list with you, because it is posted there.
Personalized learning means students will be more self-directed and have more ownership of what they learn and how.
One of our intents is to really work with teachers while they're planning units. And so as a group of teachers sit down, we'll have our TIS, coordinators, other people there with them, planning alongside them, so we can say, okay, here are our learning outcomes. Now how can we make this really powerful incorporating technology?
And make sure you get a good picture so I can see really clearly.
The goal is to engage students through hands-on assignments regardless of the tools needed to teach the lesson.
We are not expecting to flip a switch and one day walk in and see Latitudes out with every student in every classroom every day. We understand that this is a process, and we are here to support teachers in their technology journey.
It's not real.
Scroll up just a little bit. We're going to do that in just a minute.
CCISD and Dell are collaborating to determine the most effective educational apps.
We're looking for apps that match our beliefs as far as instruction. It would be very easy to go out and find apps where we have flashcards and low-level learning, and there's a time for that.
What is parity? What's it look like? How do you recognize it?
But we're searching for apps that will be more open, that kids can use to create with, that kids can use to extend their learning, and not just something that's cool and flashy.
For centuries, teachers have taught and students have learned. That won't change. It's the tools they use that will.
You're going to the Stephen Murray website, and then the first thing you'll do is add them basics.
The strengths that we have in Clear Creek are unique.
The slope between 2 points doesn't change.
We have support put in for teachers. We have support put in for curriculum. We have talented technology integration specialists and talented teachers. So we're going to take advantage of our leaders, and we're going to lead the way.
We anticipate that all the bond projects will touch every campus in some capacity all over the school district, and they'll be completed within 5 years and on time as well as on budget. If you voted for the bond, thank you, but if you did not, we will work tirelessly to earn your trust and be transparent in all that we do. For starters, the school board reworked the $367 million bond financing plan, which may save taxpayers upwards of $50 million or 2 cents less on the tax rate. To put this in perspective, when voters went to the polls in May, they considered a 13-cent increase on their property taxes to fund the $367 million bond. The reworked bond financing plan includes approximately $145 million in adjustable rate bonds with a yield of approximately 1.3% and $46 million in fixed rate bonds with a yield of approximately 3.41% versus the original amount at a rate of 4.7%. Under the new financing plan, we do project the tax rate increase will be 11 cents versus 13. CCISD is consistently, however, watching the increased market and refinances debt at lower rates, no different than people do on their own homes. Over the last 10 years, these efforts have led to almost $36 million in debt savings for our taxpayers. The school board's conservative approach to fiscal matters has yielded recognition across the state and nation. CCISD has once again been named to the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts Gold Circle for budgeting practices, and the newly released financial allocation study for Texas gave CCISD 4.5 stars for their rating out of the possible 5. The report measures success in cost-effective spending as well as student achievement. And for the first time in 2 years, our teachers and staff received their first permanent raise by our high-functioning and voluntary school board. Under the long-range compensation plan, paraprofessional staff received a 5% raise this year. Teachers received a minimum of 4% raise, and administrators received a 3% raise. Additional funding was also allocated to target teacher salaries that have fallen below the median compared to our peer districts. We were also able to increase the district's contribution to employee health care benefits as well. As I am certain you will agree, the key to student success is a great teacher in the classroom, and CCISD has no shortage of them. Teachers like Jillian Howard and Betty McCulloch represent all of our teachers as the very best in their field. Our CCISD Teachers of the Year were named among the top 5 finalists in the region, and Mrs. Howard was recently named the Texas Elementary Teacher of the Year. As part of the celebrations, Norman Frady Chevrolet gave Mrs. Howard keys to a brand new car for 1 year. We ought to be able to do that for all our teachers, don't you think? We are grateful for our community partnerships. You know, in my years in education, it is rare to have 2 teachers from one school district making it this far in the Texas Teacher of the Year program. Congratulations to Mrs. McCulloch and Mrs. Howard. You know, it's about time we create an evaluation tool that truly captures and honors the work of our teachers like Mrs. McCulloch and Mrs. Howard. Over the last 3 years, a group of educators have developed, piloted, and refined a new teacher alternative appraisal system, which we will begin using in the 2014-15 school year. The LEADS evaluation truly captures the strengths and characteristics of great teachers. It was created by teachers for teachers. From the classroom to a career and on the field to on the stage, our students are rightfully recognized across Texas as well as the nation as truly 21st century learners and leaders. North Point Elementary was recently named a National School of Character, and the McWhirter Elementary Superstars won first place in the first LEGO League competition. The Westbrook Intermediate Wired Robotics team took home the first place Best Award, and the League City Intermediate RoboCats team won first place in robotics at the 2013 Urban STEM competition. The Clear Creek High School Wind Ensemble just returned from Chicago, just before the snowstorm, I think. They were invited to perform at the world's largest music convention. The Clear Lake High School Symphony was named the best orchestra in the state for the second year in a row. And in just 3 short years, the Clear Falls High School girls volleyball team earned its way to the prestigious state finals. You know, I recently read an article about a school district that invested in a flight simulator to prepare students for a career in aerospace. In CCISD, we don't simulate flight, we build it. Thanks to the volunteers like Ernie Butcher, students in the Project Lead the Way program at Clear Springs High School engineered, built, and yes, even flew a real airplane. Not to be outdone, Clearbrook High School will soon be home to CCISD's first career and technical education program focusing on robotics and broadband communications. The hallmark of the robotics program will be the Da Vinci surgical system, which was donated to Clear Creek ISD by Clear Lake Regional Medical Center. As you can see, from every corner of the district, our students are leading the way with courage, collaboration, innovation, and self-direction. The list of accomplishments is long and very well deserving. The outlook for them in this great school district is promising and extremely exciting, especially under new legislation which will honor the varying talents of students. This legislation is called House Bill 5, and I prefer to call it the best potential piece of legislation I've seen in my more than 30 years in education. It came to fruition through CCISD's work with the Galveston County Legislative Consortium, PTAs, business, and other parents as well, as a group who identified themselves as Texans advocating for meaningful student assessment. This group worked with legislators to break through the notion that every student will graduate high school and attend a 4-year university. House Bill 5 will hopefully foster the love of learning by having fewer end-of-course exams and allow students to pursue and earn credit for the coursework that inspires them. No longer will there be 3 standard graduation plans. Students will select from a graduation plan that meets their needs. Students can earn endorsements in the following areas, such as business and industry, arts and humanities, STEM, public service, and or multidisciplinary endorsement. It is critical that parents and students attend upcoming meetings to learn the ins and outs of these new graduation plans. There's a lot of information that will come at parents in the not too distant future regarding House Bill 5. Much of it will not be ready for prime time until at the end of this month or certainly next month. So I know you share in our vision to prepare students for their future and not our past. This requires a commitment to bold ideas and the willingness to take risks when the rewards can be seen through the eyes of children. Your school district will not stand idle. We will not be complacent. We can and will do more for our children of this great community. We are in the process of developing a 5-year strategic plan. Teams of teachers, parents, and community members are meeting weekly, and I mean weekly, to research and document the action steps which will take us over the next 5 years to ensure that this school district is evolving at the pace needed to meet the future needs of students. We will unveil the new strategic plan in April, and we're really excited about that adventure. In closing, the opportunity exists within our community today to affect the change we often talk about, but somehow find hard to achieve. We are grateful for our Board of Trustees. These volunteers have exceeded the state recommended hours for professional learning, and they unselfishly serve this community to ensure the very best education for the more than 40,000 students. And by the way, January is School Board Recognition Month in Texas, and we have the best team of board members in the state of Texas. 2014 will be a great year for our school district because of the continuing support of our parents, our businesses, and community members, as well as our legislative leaders who will all work together. We're going to positively impact the lives of children, and after all, the success of any community is based on the success of our students. I want to thank you for your time this morning, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Has House Bill 5 actually been passed, or is it still in the process? House Bill 5 has been passed. It was passed last June. The writing of the rules associated with House Bill 5 is still in the hands of the State Board of Education. And they are meeting again later on this month, I believe January 20th, 21st, to finalize the rules associated with graduation plans for students. And matter of fact, yesterday we met with one of the state board members up at Region 4, so they're very interested in our input. They were getting input on the fly as they continue to process what students need to have for their graduation plans in the future. Thank you for asking that question. Is there another question? Yes?
Which graduation year will it affect?
Which graduation year will it affect for House Bill 5? That's another good question. So the intent was for the graduation year of the incoming ninth graders for the fall of 2014. But they didn't want to limit it if there are students that are currently in the school system at the high school level that wish to graduate under another plan, they could do that. My advice for students that are currently in the graduation plan is stick with their current plan. If they need to default to a minimum plan, they certainly can do that, but stick with their current graduation plan as we begin to ramp up for all the endorsements that will come forward with the incoming freshmen and every other class after that. Yes?
Could you speak more about the strategic planning and how often it's done and how much of it is actually implemented?
Yeah. Very good question. So the question is, could we speak to the strategic plan? How often is it done, and what's the percentage of it being implemented? Somewhere along those lines.
How much of it is a dream?
Yeah.
How much of it is reality?
Yeah. Well, that all depends on the committee's work. So I will answer it this way. We are ending our 5th year of our current strategic plan, and every one of the goals that we put out, we've accomplished. And I will say that because of the fact that our strategic plan is tied to our district plan, and the district plan is tied to the campus plan, and the campus plans are tied to the superintendent's targets. So there's connectivity from every walk of life throughout the school district. Identification of resources, what the objectives are behind each goal for the strategic plan is also looked at. The board has continuous feedback on that with respect to how are we doing. Cabinet incrementally measures how we're doing on the targets, and so there's so much connectivity with our strategic plan that it cannot fail. The goal is to make sure that the things that we dream behind closed doors aspires us to become even better than we are today. And that takes people like you and everyone else that comes together and wants to prepare students for their future and not our past. So my motivation, and I'm extremely inspired by having over 100 committee members on this strategic planning committee that's doing good work that represents the values of our entire school district. This is not a strategic plan that will be developed in isolation, obviously. It's not something that will sit on a shelf. Every board meeting that we have will have all the strategic planning goals, and everything that we do must be connected to the strategic plan. So it's not something that will sit on a shelf and collect dust. It'll be something that will live and thrive within Clear Creek ISD. It's very, very important to our direction. Any other questions? Again, thank you so much for being here this morning. Thank you for helping make Clear Creek ISD a great place to work, live, and learn. Thank you very much. Have a great day.